This is an array of objects. This is an array of objects. That's how we configure. And every object, we know that every object can have a property and a value, and it can have a method, and it can have a function. Every object can individually be defined with this. Right. Object, array of objects, it can contain any type of value. It can be primitive type or non-primitive type, and it can define any option like this. That's how we can configure an array of objects. So technically, a JSON formatted files, how to create them, how to configure them, we are going to discuss about them in later stage. In Angular, we are going to use them. Here, how to represent the data, let's see. So we are creating a JSON formatted contents. That means in the last session, we learned how to create an object. So let's see, here I am creating, so JSON demo.ts. And here we are creating LED, and the products is an type. Remember, this time this JSON type should able to handle different types of values, because you can see it is having name, it is having string. Then how the JSON type is defined? So to configure JSON type in Typescript, you have to use the data type any. You have to use the data type in, because here the JSON type have to handle various types of data. It can be a Boolean, or it can be a string or a number. In that case, we need to define the type as any. So how to configure the data type? We have to use any. And here we need to allocate a memory. In the memory, we can have object. So name, colon, and that is the name. And price, and colon, so some price, and some category, and here some electronics. That is one approach here. Now similarly, suppose I have another name, some Nike casuals, price, some price, okay, and category, some footwear, like this. So we are storing some details. So name, and mobile, and price, and some price, and the category as some electronics. Okay. Now how we can handle this data? How we can handle this data? How we can access the data? How we can read the data and use this data? Same, it is an array. So if it is an array, and it can have various types of data. So it can be a string type, it can be a number type. So here you can see I say in stock. In stock is a Boolean type, true. So this is in stock. In stock, this is false. And this is in stock. In stock. So that is true. So important, how we can read. In order to read, you can use all the previous techniques. Means how to read values from an array. We learned about that. Technically, all values, any specific value, you can do that. So for example, if I want to read any specific value and print that value, then console.log. Suppose how we can read and print any specific value. So from a JSON type here. So suppose I want to print some shoe price. And how we can print the shoe price. So here I am defining collection products, and the shoe is present at index 1. That means products of 1 dot which property in that index. So property is price. That means we are accessing the first record. So because the first record at 0, second record at 1, we are accessing the second record and its price, and we are printing it. That is the general way how we can read the values. How we can read the values. How we can define the value. Now this is one method of how to read the value from a JSON type. So let's run this and see. We will see various techniques of dealing with that, right? Now I'm executing this. So tsc JSON demo.ts and node JSON demo.js, and it will print the shoe price. It will access the value and display. That's how generally we can read any specific value. That means a simple example for that. So an example. So this is an example for read any specific value. And this is a simple example of reading any specific value from JSON type. So we have an array of objects, and we can access these objects by using the array property. Array property is 0. Now how we can read all of them, all names or all price like options, right? So that means how we can manage that. That means how we can read all product in that particular array. How we can read all product names. Let's see. Then what is the technique we can use here is, if I want to read all the product names, then we can use option like this. That means we have to define the collection here. We can use an iterator for how to read all the properties and all the values. In order to read all the values from an array, because every object is present as a value, we can use a reference product of that means here we are using var product of collection. Collection is products. Collection is products. Product of products. That means actually we are reading a value. So, or we can simply say every item, simple item of products. Of operator is used to read every value, and in the array that is a JSON type. So every value is an object. That means this item is an object, and we are reading every value from products. That means every item is an object, and every object contains 3 properties here.